Hello and welcome to the Devlog number 8 for our Roguelike RTS game Rogue Command. I'm Mario, the game designer, and I've been working on this game with my partner Martin for close to 4 years now. We started in August 19. So the topic this week will be a bit different than usually. I'm gonna, of course, still talk a bit about what we did in the game, but I want to talk more about how we worked in the last 2 weeks mainly, because what we did is we started using AI tools fairly extensively. So Chat-GPT and the Co-Pilot integration with Rider, which is like a coding assistant basically that Martin has been using. And I want to talk a bit about our experience with that and share some of our impressions and our thoughts around that. And kind of definitely want to invite you to share your thoughts and impressions too if you've been working with them, or if you have any questions. I'd be super interested in hearing those as well and answering them in the comments. I'm reading all of them and I'm going to answer all of them as well. So it's been really exciting and really weird with lots of ups and downs, like working with those tools. So for us, we're only 2 persons and we're making a really, really complex game. So for us, it was very clear that we kind of at least should have a very strong look at those tools and see if they could help us, because kind of if they can, then that could be really cool, because we could be able to do more stuff that way. And that mainly has been the case. So for Martin, who's doing basically all of the development work on the game, he's been really pleased with the results overall. So it was a lot. It took some of the less interesting tasks off at hand. It helped him solve some of the more complex problems too that he encountered, and it's a bit like Chat-GPT is very good at kind of inspiring solutions and answering questions, and Co-Pilot, as I understand it, is really a cool way to sometimes just speed up the coding process itself, because it understands the context of what you're working on, and it can just kind of fill out what it expects will come next. And that, of course, is really, really helpful because it really speeds up that process. So that was his impression. Of course, still sometimes you run into things where it misunderstands stuff. But I find it really interesting because I'm not sure how much of that is due to the way that we still are not really sure how to prompt it in the best way, because it's kind of a science in of itself, like to find the right ways to formulate stuff so it actually really understands what you want. And I think that is actually something where coders, people that are really experienced with development logic, have a huge advantage, because basically it's very similar. Like, the more precise you are, the better the results that you get. Whereas I often will go about it in a very different way. I kind of try to kind of coax it into having opinions and kind of try to push back against me even, or something, or I try to ask it for its reasonings behind stuff. And so I want to talk a bit more about that side, because what I, of course, found really, really fascinating is that GPT and I've been mostly using GPT with the GPT-4 model, also some 3.5, which is way faster and still pretty smart. And of course, what I found really fascinating is that it basically allows me to write code now, because I can tell it, and it knows Unity really well. It knows all the documentation, so you can just talk with it. And you're actually seeing some of the results of that right here. If you can see the little blimp that's flying around there, and sometimes they have theirs. It's on the top right. It just flew out the other side. What they're doing is they are triggering a sound, a voice line, basically every time that they see a player unit. And that gets triggered by the particle system. which gets triggered by them detecting a unit. And what I built together with Chat-GPT is just this script that kind of integrates the playing of a sound part and choosing a random clip for playing with the triggering of the particle system, which in hindsight, of course, it's obvious that that is possible, but I came to that idea while talking to it, to ChatGPT late one night, because I was asking it a lot of questions because I had some questions with audio optimization, which I've talked about with ChatGPT about for a while on, I think it was Wednesday evening, pretty late. And yeah, and while talking about that, I kind of understood some more of the things, how that works, and that kind of birthed these ideas that was another word right there. So it birthed that idea that maybe I could try to add some more personality to some of the units by having them react when they detect a player, or I'm going to try to do some more stuff like maybe when some of them die or they see something happening, that they kind of can react to that, which I think could be really fun and give a bit more personality. It could be kind of silly and funny maybe also, which I think it would also fit the tone nicely. And yeah, and that was really cool, but it took a while to get there. Like I described, I think, pretty clearly what I wanted, and it just did not work. The first drafts of the code had bugs, and then I told it what bugs it were, and that oh, by the way, I just sorry, I'm a bit slower than anticipated. I wanted to show you some of the older footage here as well, because I just stumbled on that while going through some videos here. Sorry, I brought myself to lose my train of thought here. I just thought it was kind of interesting to see what the game looked like. I think this is from early 2020. Yeah, but like I said, it took a while to get GPT to get the code correctly, but in the end it did work, because I persisted and tried again and described what didn't work and what did work, and that was kind of a crazy experience, because we were still on the same thread, and it was so incredible to kind of see how it would actually understand the context of where we were and kind of try to help me solve the problem. And yeah, and in the end we made it work. So now I have this cool little script, which I think I'm probably going to use a lot. If I'm going to have Martin look it over, he hasn't seen it yet, just to make sure that there's no weird performance implications or something like that. But yeah, that's kind of crazy, because I really can't code. Like I tried to pick it up several times, but even in the context of us doing this project here, but it just felt always very unproductive compared to how quickly Martin could just do stuff. And now this kind of script is something that of course he could also do that fairly quickly, but just there's so many other more important things to do in the game right now that I would never ask him for like to do something like this, really, or it would be something that we would probably rather do in the polishing phase or something. And just being able to kind of play around with that stuff and learning about how Unity works in the process is crazy, and it's incredible that is just a tool that is just out there now, and you can talk to it and it can understand you. So yeah, it takes some time sometimes. So just on like my experiences, it definitely is worth it keeping at it and trying to kind of describe more clearly what you want. Of course, there's a bunch of resources out there, a bunch of people who are doing like prompt hacks and how you have to talk to it to get it to do this and that, and there's definitely some good hints out there, and I feel like, yeah, we're all just, like all of us, all humans, we're just starting to kind of learn these tools, and it's really crazy, and I find it really interesting to work with it on those voice lines for the scouting clips, like I said, because what I find funny when I play the game myself now is I definitely read some more intentions into what the AI does in our game now. Also because I reworked the whole AI system as well this week, which I'm going to talk about more probably in the next devlog. And I found it really interesting because even like I built all of that all of the ways that the AI in our game makes decisions. I built all of the systems behind the voice lines that the scouting blip does and all that stuff. And it still feels a bit like there's some intentionality there. So how can we not also ascribe something like that to something like Chat-GPT, which is so much more advanced and is still like one of the, like we're still in the early stages of those kinds of developments. So yeah, overall, like my experience has been really positive. I'm really appreciative of the help that it can provide these kinds of tools. But it definitely feels like a huge change is about to break over everything, kind of, because it's unlike anything I think that we've ever had in terms of technology, and that is of course also can also be scary, right? I mean, I'm not even talking about the AI going rogue and crazy, that kind of stuff. Although I guess there are some legitimate concerns there too, but I'm mostly talking about like just, I don't know, the potential for misinformation and all kinds of crazy stuff, and like even text to video stuff that's out there now. It's gonna be really interesting to to see the internet. Oh, there's a big drop coming in. Develop over the next years, because right now, even like with Midjourney and DALL-E with the newer version, it's like you can make images that look almost photorealistic. And of course, also for game developers, right? It's going to be crazy because we're probably not far from there's also already some tools out there that are going to help with 3D model generation, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I guess it's all just a matter of time until all these kinds of things will be at least assisted to a large degree by these kinds of tools. Yeah, and it's insane. Like it's gonna change so much about how we do things, but yeah, like I said, my general impression is really positive. Like I really enjoy the process of learning, especially with GPT. That was really, really cool. Like I learned so much about Unity because I was just able to kind of bounce, like go from question to question and ask it follow-ups about what we had talked before, and also make sure that I understood stuff correctly. And it's kind of like in that sense, like I can't imagine what that is going to do for education, for example, because just you can ask it stuff and it can react in such smart ways. Yeah. So yeah. That was a bit of a rambly devlog, I guess. Like I said, in the next devlog, I'm going to talk more about the new AI system in our game, the new enemy AI, and probably when the next devlog comes out, we will also be able to talk about when the next demo update is going to come. Yeah. That's it for me. I hope you have a great weekend. And next week there will not be a devlog due to the Easter holidays. But yeah, I'm gonna probably see you in 2 weeks. I wish you a happy weekend and happy holidays if you celebrate. And yeah, join our Discord. Follow us on Twitter and Wishlist the game if you want to support us. Definitely let me know your thoughts about our new AI, our upcoming AI future, in the comments. And yeah, like if we want to talk about the game more, definitely join us on Discord. That's the main location where that's happening. And yeah, if you enjoyed the devlog, please drop us a like or subscribe if you're interested. And that might help us reach some more people. That's it from me. Talk to you soon.